A woman crashed my cousin's beach wedding saying she dated him days ago, and Grandma exposed him. I was photographing my cousin Melissa's beach wedding in San Diego. White chairs were set in rows on the sand, flower petals made a soft path to the arch, and the sun was dropping toward the water. Everything looked perfect through my camera, the kind of scene people save for years. Melissa looked happy but nervous, the way most brides do. Derek stood beside her in an expensive suit that didn't fit the beach at all. I'd met him a few times. He always smiled fast, but his eyes moved a lot, like he was watching for something. While guests were taking their seats earlier, I saw him step away twice to check his phone. Each time he turned his body so no one could see the screen. When he came back, he acted normal, laughing with people, straightening his cuffs, fixing his tie. The ceremony started right on time. Waves rolled in behind them, and a light breeze kept lifting Melissa's veil. Her friend sang a slow love song, and even the guests who had been talking went quiet. I kept moving around, crouching, standing, catching every angle. The officiant guided them through the vows. Melissa's voice shook a little, but she kept going. Derek spoke clearly, like he was giving a speech at work. A few guests wiped their eyes. I remember thinking this was going smoother than most weddings I'd seen. Then the officiant said the words everyone knows. If anyone has any reason why these two should not be married, speak now or forever hold your peace. It was quiet for a second, just wind and water, and I lifted my camera to take another shot. That's when we heard splashing from down the beach. At first, people ignored it, but the sound got louder, uneven, like someone stumbling. Heads started turning. I lowered my camera and looked past the last row of chairs. A woman in a blue dress was struggling through the shallow water, shoes in one hand, the hem of her dress soaked and heavy. Her mascara had run down her face, and she was breathing hard like she had been running a long time. The wedding planner rushed forward, trying to block her, whispering something, but the woman pushed past. She pointed straight at Derek, her hand shaking. "You can't marry him," she shouted, her voice cracking but loud enough for everyone to hear. The beach went silent. Even the waves seemed quieter. Melissa slowly turned to Derek, confusion all over her face. I didn't even think about stopping. I kept taking pictures, my hands moving on their own. The woman stepped closer. "We were on a date 3 days ago," she said. "Bella Luna, you told me you were on a business trip." Derek's face went pale, and he opened his mouth, but no words came out at first. "It's not what you think," he finally said, forcing a weak laugh. "She's a colleague. We were just having coffee." The woman let out a short, sharp laugh that made several guests shift in their seats. "Coffee," she repeated. "Is that what you call kissing in your car? Is that what you call texting me about a weekend trip next month?" People in the front row started whispering, and someone behind me muttered, "Oh my God." Melissa stood frozen, gripping her bouquet so tightly I could see her knuckles turning white. Derek kept talking, words spilling out fast, saying it was a misunderstanding, saying someone must have set him up, saying anything he could think of. Then a chair scraped behind me. Melissa's grandmother, tiny and slow most days, was standing. She walked forward across the sand, each step steady, her eyes locked on Derek. No one tried to stop her. Everyone just watched. She stopped right in front of him. For a moment it looked like she might speak. Instead, her hand came up and cracked across his face so loud it echoed. Derek staggered half a step, stunned, a red mark already showing on his cheek. "I knew it," she said, her voice firm. She pulled out her phone, opened an app, and held the screen up. "I saw you on here last week. Profile said you were single, looking for fun. I took screenshots because something felt wrong." A murmur rolled through the guests like a wave. Derek tried to speak again, but nothing clear came out. His best man slowly stepped back, putting space between them. The woman in the blue dress folded her arms, watching in silence. Melissa finally moved. She looked at the woman, then at her grandmother, then at Derek, who was still trying to explain, his voice shaking now. Without saying a word, she handed her bouquet to her maid of honor. She slipped off her heels, stepped onto the cool sand, and took her grandmother's hand. Together they turned and walked down the beach, leaving the arch, the chairs, and Derek standing there alone as the sun kept sinking behind them. Now everyone's saying I shouldn't have kept filming. Was I wrong?